Hello, friends and adventurers. Welcome back to Secret Sound Games. I'm Adrian, and as I've promised, we're gonna have a very short reading episode and an episode where I get to showcase Loki, Senior Loki. So, Mr. Loki, say hello to your dear audience. Hey, Loki. You're good sleepy cat. He was sleeping right now. And yeah, Lemmy. He's a very big fluffy cat, as you can see. He's a fluff ball. He's a fluff ball, and he was sleeping earlier. He's a lap cat mostly. Well, half of the time he's a lap cat, half of the time he's a couch cat. He's a very good boy. And like all cats, he's dreaming of mice, cheese, and world domination. So, what's up, Porky? He's looking at me with lovable eyes. Okay, so yeah, the books. I promised we would have a short reading episode. So, in this game, there's only a couple of very good book series, because the rest are just lore snippets you also get throughout the game, like the history of Samoa, which is basically what you get throughout the game, that used to be an island populated by a cult dedicated to blood sacrifices, sexual orgies, fun stuff. Eventually they got wiped out, and here we are. So the couple of book series I'm gonna quickly read are The Greatest Hero Volume 1 to Volume 6, and A Veteran's Memoir. So let's go. So it was in the far western lands beyond many seas, mountains, and woods. There lived a young man named Merle, a lad of great ambition and even greater dreams. He wandered his homeland, ever seeking those in need of his aid. And oh, how he toiled, pulling roots, chasing off nagging goals, or the sweeping halls of venerable mages. None of it daunted him. So it sounds like Merle was basically every fantasy character we played. He accepted all quests and side quests. After some years of his kindly deeds, the whole land was free from strife, sorrow, and despair. All his neighbors held Merle in high regard, so they pitched in for a fine blade forged of true magic ore. With such wondrous blade, Merle felt he could become a hero famed across the realm, and so he set off to the castle of the local lord to offer his sword. The lord of the eastern coast was a mighty wealthy trade baron from distant lands by the name of Moges. Merle knew full well that by serving such a mighty lord, and should he earn his favor, he could rise far. Yet gaining an audience with the noble Moges proved hard, for the gates of his keep were guarded by Rufus, a loyal, sharp, witted hound no bribe could sway. Not even 1,000 sausages could bend his canine sense of duty. To set foot within the castle walls, one had to earn the favor of its folk, and Merle was tasked with driving off a pest that had made its nest in the servants' granary. The pest turned out to be a rat of monstrous size, feasting on a grain meant for the castle folk. Merle, fearing no danger, stepped into the granary, shut the door behind him, and within moments chased the vile pest far off, thus honoring castle custom and earning his right to an audience. So a couple of things here for those who don't know. These are anagrams. Moges is actually an anagram for Gomez, the most powerful ore baron in the game Gothic 1. He's the most powerful political figure. And the second character, Rufus, is an anagram for Forest, which is pretty cool. And Merle, I'm assuming Merle is the name of the mainless hero. Is it an anagram or not? Is it Lyram or something like that? Or, I don't know, Rhyme? Is it Rylem? I don't know. You guys let me know. If any developers from Golden Gate 2 watch this video, let me know. Merle's charm worked wonders on the noble Moges, who though once indifferent to would-be knights and their deeds, clapped with joy at the thought of the profits his new servant might bring. So impressed was he by Meryl's renown across his domain. Thus, Moges swiftly chose to test the brave young man, sending him on a secret mission to spy on the estate of his treacherous brother, who was scheming vile plots with a certain archmage. Meryl proved more than fit for the task, swiftly uncovering all he needed to thwart the cruel schemes of the Lord's treacherous brother. He laid a trap for the schemers of his own making, yet not all went as planned. Forced to slay not just the brother, but the mages who conspire with him. Fearing Moges' wrath, Meryl kept the truth hidden, and swiftly left the castle having first claimed his hefty pouch of coin as a reward. So Meryl fucked up. With enough coin for the road, Meryl set out for the distant capital of the realm, where the wise and noble king was holding a grand tourney to honor the birth of his fifth daughter. The king was already an old man, and knowing he soon pass his crown to his eldest child, and having no son, he vowed to give the heir's hand to the victor of the grand tourney. Thus, thousands of bold souls flocked to the capital, all dreaming of the crown, among them the noble Meryl. For weeks, the tourney grounds rang with the clash of steel, shattered lances, and splintered shields. Very good writing, by the way. Many promising princes from nearby realms were bested, yet, to the Grout's great surprise, Meryl still stood. In the final duel, he faced a man strong as an ox, wielding a massive battle axe. Their clash was fierce. More than once, the brute came at Meryl from behind. Yeah, the phrasing. He came at Meryl from behind, huh? Yet with unwavering courage, Meryl struck him down with a single mighty blow, claiming victory in the tourney. The capital rejoiced in honor of the great victor, whose unexpected triumph left the old king visibly unsettled. The ruler, however, in his wisdom, honored his vow and confirmed that the heiress's hand was rightfully Meryl's. When the fair princess learned who was to be her betrothed, she was furious, yet chose to grant him a chance until their first meeting, which, by ancient custom, was to take place at the wedding. Long were the days of toil, but in time, a royal feast gladdened the heart of the folk. Yet the feast was cut short by scandal. The princess, upon seeing brave Meryl for the first time, gave him but a cold glance, bade him leave, and declared she would not speak to him. Yet Meryl would not yield. The crown was his by right. The princess, in turn, chose exile, renouncing her claim, and before the sun had set, she rode westward away from the capital. After the wedding in the capital came sorrows. So deep the old king fell ill and soon died. Thus Meryl's coronation took place under a veil of mourning. The new ruler proved to be no less wise than his forebear, and chose not to react harshly to the people's sorrow or their longing for their former king. Seeking to earn their love, King Meryl I lifted the yearly tax, then gradually brought forth further wise reforms. His reign proved just and noble. The Western realm prospered, its cities grew, and its people lived in peace and joy. Strange it was then that in times of such joy, the king chose to abdicate. He claimed rule had grown dull, and by night he dreamt of past adventures. So one day, with letters left behind, he slipped from the palace and, hiding his name, boarded the last ship sailing east. Cool story. A very cool story. Let's read the veteran's memoir and the tablet of Ea Nasir, or Ea Nasir, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I still remember my first campaign, when town was shaken by news of a rebellion stirred by Lord Cadler of Xandar. We were just green boys then, heads full of tales of glory, and not one of us thought only 1 in 10 would make it back. We didn't care who threw the first punch or why. What mattered was we were finally leaving those stinking barracks, seeing the world, grabbing some loot and covering ourselves in glory. The men of Xandar welcomed us at the edge of their land. We hadn't even unloaded the ships when we heard war drums pounding from the nearby woods. Then came a hail of arrows. And then, the charge. A wild charge of what looked to be like unarmed peasants, in torn leathers brandishing crude spears. But they fought like devils. Screamed like devils too, refusing to die no matter the wounds we gave them. Luckily, there weren't enough to win. But of us, fresh-faced boys thrown in as the vanguard, by the time reinforcements arrived, there was hardly anything left to pick up. Xandar was a large island and most of it was covered in thick forests. We constantly suffered ambushes. To make matters worse, the natives fought scattered, avoiding open battle like the plague, always hiding among the trees. The first few weeks were pure torment, a true test of what we were made of. The captains spoke of scouting parties gathering intel that would soon give us the edge. But as we huddled by the campfires in the middle of nowhere, we had only one concern: staying alive. Nearly a month after we made landfall, we finally had a breakthrough. One of our patrols tracked down an enemy commander, and without him, the Zandari assault began to ease. That's when the order came: march inland. We spent a week forcing our way through the jungle so thick it seemed to close in tighter with every step. Some of the lads started whispering that Cadler had struck a deal with dark powers, that the island itself had been cursed to keep us out. Foolish thoughts, maybe. But we were all green back then, and that was about to change, and fast. We reached the outskirts of Xandar's capital a month and a half after landing on the damned land. It was a large wooden town by the lake. Quiet, almost too quiet. General Corwin, who learned how dirty the Zandari could fight, decided it was time to repay the favor. Under cover of night, he led his best men to the walls. One strike, swift and sharp, was all we needed to turn the tide. I saw it with my own eyes. Our lads climbing like goblins, slipping over the battlements with barely a sound. One by one, they took out the sentries. No screams, just quick flashes of steel in the dark. But we soon realized something was wrong. Corwin's men, once atop the walls, froze in place, staring at one another in confusion. Moments later, the gate swung open, and we were ordered to charge. We rushed into the town, but not a soul was there. We fell silent, stunned. Candles still burned in the windows of the abandoned huts. Along the empty streets, clothes hung on lines fluttering in the wind, their flapping cut sharp against the thickening silence. Ooh, sounds like an ambush. The whole situation caught us so off guard, not a soul even thought to start looting. General Corwin was one of the few who kept his cool. He ordered a full sweep of the town. Over the next day, we combed through every building, leaving no stone unturned. But there was nothing, not a trace to make us uneasy. And that's what troubled the general the most. Looking back now, I see it clearly. He'd entered a dangerous game with Cadler, and we were the pawns. But what then? Back then, I cheered like the rest when we heard we could finally lower our guard, relax for a spell, and get some real rest before the next push. That evening, the town came alive, filled with laughter and loud talk, the smoke of our fires rising high as we roasted Zandari meats, tastier than anything we'd ever had. By the time the noise faded, night was deep. Full-bellied and worn out, we drifted to sleep among the Zandari huts. Our hosts had been waiting for it. I woke to an inhuman scream through the wall, a sound I've come to know all too well. That was the scream of a man having his guts spilled out. I grabbed the sword by my cot just as two attackers burst into the house. One of them slashed blindly with a dagger and opened Affin's throat. They were damn good fighters, no doubt, but we had numbers. They still managed to badly wound two of our lads before we backed them into a corner and stabbed them like pigs. By then, the whole town was already at war. Once we patched up the wounded, 5 of us stepped outside. Almost right away, a runner came charging and ordered us to follow. He led us to the main gate where the general was holding the line himself. I still dream of that night. That night belonged to death. Somehow, I made it through. At dawn, word spread of a great victory. In one alley, they had taken Lord Cadler's firstborn alive. He later became the general's leverage to end the rebellion. Turns out the old traitor valued his son's life more than freedom. And so, in one blood-soaked night, the Xandar uprising came to an end. Good story. Good world building. Now let's read the final tablet of Ea Nasir. This is a very cool story that's a reference to the first official customer complaint in our written history. It's about a copper merchant who was pretty bad, and he got his first official written customer complaint on a clay tablet. So the customer complaint reads like this. This is, by the way, a variation of the complaint adapted for Golden Gate. The original one just complains about copper and how a merchant servant was treated. So, tell Ea Nasir, Nani sends the following message. When you came, you said to me as follows, I will give Gimelsin fine quality copper ingots, but you did not fulfill your promise. You gave my messenger poor quality ingots and said, if you do not want to take them, take them. If you do not want to take them, go away. What do you take me for? That you treat somebody like me with such contempt? Have any of the Hassis merchant treated me this way? You alone treat my messenger with contempt. You speak of me with so freely for that one pouch of gold I owe you, while I handed over 1,080 gold coins to the priest on your behalf, just as Umiabum did, aside from what we both recorded on the tablet deposited in the temple of Hatiret. How did you treat me in return for this favor? Be aware that I will no longer accept any copper from you that is not of good quality. From now on, I will select the bar myself and reserve the right to reject you, given the contemptuous manner in which you have treated me. So yeah, this is a very awesome reference to... I mean, think about it this way. Like 4,000, 5,000 years ago, this guy wrote a complaint that survived for the millennia. And this was basically on a clay tablet. Think of it this way. All the insignificant stuff that we write on the internet, people are probably gonna read it 5,000 years in the future, if we are still around. Like, be careful what you write on the internet. And imagine that if you, as a business owner, do something crappy, people 5,000 years in the future are gonna immortalize your incompetence. Or your glory if you are a very good business owner. So, thank you guys for watching. Gonna see you in the next episode as we try to finish Golden Gate. Stay badass. Remember, the most important story in the world is our own. I also made a Discord channel, but at the same time, I'm not sure if the way Discord is going with the whole privacy crap they're doing, it's worth it. I'm probably gonna have to find another place to build this community. If you have any ideas where we should migrate the community, let me know. Whether it's on Steam or somewhere else, let me know. If you have any ideas, please write them in the comments. So, stay badass, take care of yourselves, and till next we meet, cheers, and here's Gina.
Hello, adventurer! Please like and subscribe. You can also share the video. Hello? Where are you going? Why are you running? You can support us on Buy Me a Coffee too. Or on Patreon. You can become a free supporter too. Oh, they always do that.
Nasz chwałem Twojej namiętności, o swoim szczęściu śpiewałam do gwiazd, lecz już nadszedł kres naszej miłości. Któż gwiazdom zaśpiewa, gdy nie ma już nas? Któż gwiazdom zaśpiewa? Biegłam szlakiem swoich snów, lecz los nas rozdzielił, gubiąc cały trud. Tęsknotą tyś swoją przychodziła znów, chwytając moją dłoń zza śmierci czarnych wrót. Schwyta na szkwałę